The new clutch.
Hydraulic.
Yeah, versus cable.
Well, the new ones, I think they went back to cable.
Exactly. And
So I guess nobody liked it.
I've already mentioned, I talked to somebody the other day about it and over there, and I said, they got a kit yet? No. Like, well, yeah, considering that. But anyway. Oh, hey, how's it going? Mike and me was just sitting here talking, I don't know, small talk about this and that, and all things bikes, of course, and kind of come up with a little idea a bit ago, and maybe if you're going to buy your first bike, maybe we might have a couple tips we can kind of help you out with.
All right, we got 5 tips for buying your first bike.
Only 5.
Just 5.
What if we got 6? Okay, go ahead.
All right, first, new or used?
I don't know.
Well, it's whatever you can afford.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Your first bike, my first bike was used.
That was too.
You're gonna put them on the ground, whatnot.
Yeah, you're gonna drop it. I mean, it's,
So
you got 2 kinds of riders: those that have dropped them and those that are going to drop them.
yep. Hey, we've been there, but it happens, and you want to spend 30 grand on something that you may or may not enjoy, like you might think you will. We ride quite often, quite a lot actually. I enjoy it, so I spend the money to make that enjoyment even better. You know, so not saying I wouldn't buy a used bike because I'm always in the market. You know, always.
Well, with a new bike, you get a warranty with it. So, if something happens, I mean, that kind of helps cover it. But, buying a used bike, maybe a couple of thousand versus 30,000. If you drop it, skin it up, whatever, not that big a deal to just rattle can it and keep riding, get some more experience in.
Rattle can.
Rattle can.
You've done that before, ain't you?
A few times.
I think we all have. He mentioned warranty, and today's warranty world, and you can find videos on this, and maybe one day we'll make our own on it. A lot of the motor company's warranty can be quite confusing, so you got to think about that too. You start changing stuff, and that affects things. So you might want to think about that too. But are we in consensus that we'd buy a used bike if it was us, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Our opinion.
20 years ago, my first bike was an antique. Way back then, so.
Mine too, and that was way back when. So, wow. So we're antiques. Times 2. Some of us times 2.
Now our second tip is what kind of bike should you get? Start out on a big bagger, big touring bike. Start out on a smaller bike, Sportster or a Savage or maybe even a Triumph.
When I was 5, I got a mini bike. Does that count?
A lot of people start out on a mini bike.
First motorcycle when I was 5, it was a mini bike. I always rode dirt bikes. It's a whole different world, dirt bikes, and on the road, of course. But that's how I cut my teeth. What I cut my teeth on was a mini bike. Crashed my sister one time. I'm gonna tell a story if you don't care.
All right.
I crashed my bike. My sister was wanting to ride and want me to ride her and whatnot, and I didn't want to. And then I was forced to, and I remember there was this bush sitting there, and I went real close to it to scare her, and I got a little bit too close, and we done flip-flops. And needless to say, I didn't get to ride her for a while, but I didn't get to ride either, so for a bit. But anyway, I thought you can probably edit all that out.
Yeah. We'll cut that out. A lot of it's going to depend on the style of riding you're going to do. I mean, if it's just short rides, maybe you don't live that far from work and you're just going to ride from home to work, smaller bike will be good.
Yep.
But once you get that bug, once you get bit by riding, then you're going to want to do longer trips. And if you're riding two up, after a while, a smaller bike's just going to be uncomfortable.
Yep. And for your passenger too.
Oh yeah.
My wife rides with me all the time. Generally, if you see me out, unless I'm riding to work or something, we're together, and she's got to be comfortable. I've learned that. She's going to be comfortable no matter what I have to spend to make it her comfortable. So you got to think about that too. You know what. There's a lot of times our day trips are 400, 500, 600 miles. So you're not going to do that on a little small cruiser and comfortably, especially a passenger. Because there was a guy out here yesterday, hung out for a little while, and was talking to him. I'll not mention what he was riding, but the rear seat was about 6 inches wide. And he says his wife don't like to ride, and I'm, I wouldn't either. Yeah, I wouldn't either. So you got to think about that too. Of course, you can buy different seats, whatnot, but
And that's something else to consider. The brand of bike you get, what kind of aftermarket accessories are available? Seats, handlebars, just you got a wide range of what's out there. For some bikes and for others, there's hardly anything at all.
Yep, that's true. That brings me to another story.
We'll edit this out.
Yeah. Anyway, he mentioned handlebars, seats, things like that. Okay. Last year, bought a new Road Glide, and they're fitted for this size person. I mean, and anybody can ride it as far as that goes. As far as very tall or whatnot, I'm 5'11", about 200 pounds. And the handlebars were not comfortable to me. The seat had me too far forward. So I started replacing these things to make it comfortable for me to ride at a longer distance. And some guys I work with, they don't ride. And they were like, well, my goodness, man, you spend all that money, and now you're spending more doing all these accessories. And I told them, I said, you have that in your truck, in your car. And they're like, huh? And I said, you adjust, when your wife gets out of your car or your truck, you adjust the seat. You adjust the steering. You adjust the mirrors. And that's all I'm doing to make it fit me personally. And like Mike here, he gets on mine, and it may not feel that good to him. The position that
that's something else to consider when you get a bike. If you're 6'5", 300 pounds, you can ride a Sportster or a small Japanese bike, or even British, but it's going to be a strain on the bike, and it's going to be uncomfortable to you.
Yep.
All right. And our third tip is your riding gear.
Shorts,
Yeah,
flip-flops.
Shorts and flip-flops. It's nice when it's 100 degrees out until you drop it that first time.
So you don't ride in shorts and flip-flops?
No.
Me either. Have you ever made fun of people riding with shorts and flip-flops?
No, I'd never do that.
No, not me either. Don't do it, people. Don't do it. Wear some boots. Cover some skin. The more skin you got covered, the less it comes off.
Dress for the slide, not the ride.
There you go.
And shirts. These big open sleeve shirts, it's a lot cooler, and you may think you look good in it until you get a yellow jacket or a B inside that shirt at 70. And then it's a circus act.
I seen a guy with a pack saddle at one time like that. I got down in his shirt.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
slow down
and,
pretty quick.
It was pretty interesting. He talked about warm weather. What about cold weather? We're in the winter now. Actually, come almost into spring, so we can be kind of dressing down some. Heated gear. Hey, if you like to ride as much as we do, you've got to have heated gear, heated hand grips, whatnot. It really makes a difference between being just bone chilled cold and not. Well, I can speak for him too. We personally wear half helmets. I've got a full helmet for in the rain, but for the most part, it's a half shell helmet. I wear earplugs because digging bees or bugs out of your ears not fun. It can happen. And what made me years ago, and of course Mike wears them too. What made me start wearing them is beside the bug, I got tired of getting somewhere and going all the time.
Yeah, and it's not the noise from the bike.
Nope.
It's the wind noise.
The wind noise.
If you don't ride, you don't understand. It's like, well, it's loud pipes on that bike. That's why. No, that's all behind you.
Yep.
It's the wind noise.
Wind noise. So protect your hearing. That's all we got. Plus, in the wintertime, helps keep heat in your body. So that's a bonus tip right there on riding gear. You got another one?
Well, I guess that brings us to tip 4, your maintenance.
Are you a mechanic?
Well, if it's a new bike, do you want to touch it, or do you want to just get the service plan and let them do it?
Oh, there you go.
And if it's you bought a used bike, then chances are you could be getting somebody else's headache. So you're going to be broke down on the side of the road. You need to learn how to do basic maintenance.
Yes.
I've spent 20 years riding some sketchy bikes, so we've all had to find that shade tree and wait.
Yep. Had one melt down one time, long way from home. Got in a traffic jam, bike shut off, and I got her going. It took a while, but we got her going. So if you're a mechanic, that's all good, but probably have to learn to work on them. You got a place to park it?
Yeah, you got to have
Means a
someone
lot.
to keep it.
We're sitting here in the garden, or what I call the garden. It's where everything's parked at, and we do you want to keep it heated?
Climate control.
Climate control. And you got a $30,000-$40,000 motorcycle. You want to treat it as such, or maybe your wife or significant other will let you put it in the house. That's a real good place for them. Then that way you can sit on it while you're watching television.
Yeah, Cheech and Chong. Right, the pops out the window. You can start it every day.
Every day. It's air freshener, folks. I used to do that. I'd fire it up every once in a while and just fume up the whole house, and it smells so good. But anyway, that was in my younger years. Settled down a little bit since then.
And we kind of talked about some accessories. That's something else to look for.
Mm-hmm.
When you're buying a bike, what's out there? Or if you're a machinist and you make your own parts, it doesn't matter. But most people not that talented or don't have that access. So what all is out there for your bike? Once you buy it, what can you change on it? If you don't like the handlebars, Harley has thousands of options.
And that was with an S.
Yeah.
And not only Harley Davidson, but aftermarket parts, S&S and whatnot. It goes on and on as far as parts go, where to get parts. That's pretty easy to find parts.
Especially nowadays, everybody's got smartphones, access to
Yep.
the internet.
Now, we talked about warranty a while ago. Now, I know with the motor company, you start putting accessories and this and that, be careful, because it could void your warranty. So you always check up on that first to make sure that you're not voiding your factory warranty, or you might have got an extended warranty. I hate for that to go boom, and all because you put a knuckle buster on there or something, a throttle. Just mind your P's and Q's and all will be good.
All right. Tip number 5: when you're buying your first bike, take the riding class. Now, if you're young, you're in your teens or 20s, you can walk it off if you lay it down. If you're up in your 40s, 50s, or even older, it takes a long time to recover. Plus, if you take the riding class and you drop it, you're dropping their bike.
That's true. But you're going to drop yours sooner or later. Don't think that class, but he's right. Take the class. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it, and even if you're an experienced rider, if you get a chance, take the class. I'm sure you'll learn a thing or two, and if you're brand new to riding and never ever rode, take the class. It's
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to the class. It could probably even help out with insurance.
yes,
Because you're going to have to, especially if you're making payments on the bike, you've got to have insurance on it.
Yep.
Class could help out with that.
Yep.
Plus, you learn to ride in a big empty parking lot. You're
Right.
not out on the highway dodging traffic.
Don't think for a minute, and I'm sure there's been people out there that's done this. Don't think you're a brand new rider. You're going to go out there and buy a brand new Road Glide or a Street Glide or a Road King or a Gold Wing or anything of that nature and ride across country safely. Can't be done. Learn to ride it before you get out there, because not only will you be endangering yourself, you're endangering others. So learn the machine, learn how to ride to build your confidence up. Like Mike just said, in a empty parking lot is a real good place. Learning to feather that clutch. Speaking of clutches, well, that's for another discussion. Yeah.
Well, that's all we've got. If you've got any more suggestions, let us know down in the comments below.
See y'all next time.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.